So, this is it, the final part of the Salvador guide, finally tackling the endgame. Welcome to part 4 of the guide, and I hope you're ready for the peak. I think the people watching this are at least somewhat familiar with the concept of the peak and what it does, so I'll spare the details. It is relevant to note though that the levels are split up. The peak consists of 11 areas that you need to clear to get an OP level. Now, all of these areas have actual names, but I just call them 1 through 11 to make it easier to follow. So, in OP 0 through 1, 1 to 2, and 2 to 3, you will stop after area 7. And for OP 3 to 4 and 4 to 5, you have to clear up until and including area 10. And for the rest, you have to clear all of them. But enough with the introductions, let's get into it. If you have all the gear I have here, getting to OP3 is really easy. Obviously, you can push the gear further because of all the damage that you do, but I like getting new stuff at OP3. Now, usually with other characters, I would mention things to be mindful of and look out for, but honestly, it's a point and click adventure with Salvador. You do so much damage and have so much healing that regular mobs should not be an issue. Just make sure to switch to your Lady Fist on your second shot for maximum damage and keep your health up. In other words, just don't get hit. No, but really, if you've gotten this far, you should have a decent idea on how to play Sal, so I'm not going to bore you with the details. I'll just show you the highlights and bosses from these runs.
Against all laws of probability and good taste, you have survived the gauntlet.
Please assemble here.
You're nearly finished with the course. In keeping with laws of drama, however, I have saved the most difficult task for last. These assassins' aliases are anagrams of numbers 1 through 4, except one, who is just dumb. Now wash the metaphorical blood from your hands. The god.
I make
Scorch is permanently on fire due to subtle iridium mutation. I have failed to replicate this power for myself, though on the upside, most of my torso is now covered in third-degree burns. Know the word for skull. You're nearly finished with the course. In keeping with laws of drama, however, I have saved the most difficult task for last. You're nearly finished with the course. In keeping with laws of drama, however, I have saved the most difficult task for last. These assassins' aliases are anagrams of numbers 1 through 4, except one who's just dumb. wash the metaphorical blood from your hands. The
So, once you get to OP3, it's time for upgrades. Obviously, the shotgun is the most important part. If you want to farm a Hydra, go do that. Or if you have your safe backed up and have the Oasis quest, go do that. I'll be getting some other OP3 gear first before resetting my playthrough. First, I'm getting a new Tesla. Because I'm resetting my playthrough, I obviously won't have access to this farm anymore after that. It is fine though, because with increasing OP levels, your health doesn't increase. So, having one that is OP3 will always be enough healing. Then, I'm getting a new Topnia. Same as with the Tesla, I'll be locked out of this farm after the reset. It is fine too, since I'll mostly be using the shotgun to get second wins anyway. Lastly, it's time to get a new shield. As mentioned previously, I read-only farmed the Snowman Train chest to get a decent one. What counts as decent depends on how long you want to farm. Then I reset my playthrough, select OP0 to have an easier time, and go to Oasis. Clear out the mobs, set my game to OP3 before picking up the quests, and farm the Orphan Maker.
Blades log. Had to stage another fake execution today. One of the cooks was caught stealing from the treasure.
Then I reset again. I do this so I can get the grog this time around and still have an OM farm available. This means that when I reach OP6, I won't have to reset my playthrough again. So I rush through the Tina DLC at OP0 until I get a grog, and now we're ready for more peak. This gear will last me until I reach OP6, so let's get to it. The first boss you'll face here will be Scorch. He is a spider ant and therefore has a massive crit spot on his butt. This means he will get deleted in 1 or 2 shots. This will not change. I will show it because it's funny, but it's really a non-issue. Same goes for the Black Queen, which will then appear in later runs. Then we face Bonehead, who is a loader. Loaders have crit spots on their joints. Hitting those will delete Bonehead. Again, not an issue. I think you're starting to understand what I'm trying to say. The assassins can be a bit tricky, mainly because the hitboxes of their head are a bit wonky, but if you try a few times, getting the kill is also not really difficult.
was just done.
The only enemy type you have to look out for during these runs are tanks. Those do not have an open, easy to hit crit spot, so they can be a bit tough to take down. Make sure you throw some Teslas at them to get healing while you reload, and try to take down their top half first. But then, with the help of the overkill damage, take out the rest. Those realistically are the only enemies you have to look out for.
Please assemble here and we can begin.
You'll notice me sometimes opening the consoles here. This is not to cheat. I don't need to cheat more than Sal already is. I just check the overkill damage that I'm doing. Big number is funny and all that.
You will fight a few clones of the same at Vault Hunter. This is priority 1. I need you to disarm. Of course he is a dick. Did you know? Aliases are anagrams of numbers 1 through 4, except one was just dumb.
Here you can see that even as Sal, you are not invincible. While things are generally easier compared to other characters, you still need to play somewhat smart and keep an eye out for problematic enemies.
of these enemies at once.
Now at OP5 to OP6, you'll be faced with the binary boss right at the end. This is one big tank you have to take out. Well, thankfully, he has a massive crit spot right at the front. You know what that means. Throw a few Teslas to block the initial projectiles and watch the magic happen. Once we're at OP6, it's time for an upgrade. Since we reset twice earlier, we have the Oasis quest available to us, so we just farm a new Orphan Maker, then go and grab a better shield, and we're back at it. If your luck is decent with the OM farm, getting better gear for Sal really doesn't take that long. He really doesn't need that many items to succeed. Now, OP6 to 7 is usually a doozy. This is the first time you'll be fighting Dukino's mom. However, unfortunately for Dukino's mom, he has a massive crit spot that's just begging to be shot. So we can do just that. Getting to her is easy too. You have to look out though, because from now on, Scorches will be spawning up top instead of down there. As for Dukino's mom, yeah, told you.
Just as deadly and irresponsible as the real thing. You can almost taste the parental absenteeism.
And we just move on. Facing Doc Mercy is just like any other nomad. Give him a good bonk on the head and you win. If your timing is good, you can basically spawn camp this dude and absolutely bully him.
True spider ant rolls uninterrupted for an entire mile. It will grow shoes and a voice before awkwardly dating human women.
Now that we're at OP7, we need one more piece of gear, the B shield. This will be needed for killing Saturn. You can obviously try and just use the OM for that, but I find it a bit too risky. So, since I reset my playthrough, I can't go to Hunter Hellquist to grab one, so we go to the forest and the Tina DLC. Here we also grab the Tree Hugger quest to prevent most enemies from spawning in the camp near the tree. Once you have a bee shield that's on level, we move on. OP7 to 8 is basically more of the same, the only major differences, or maybe hiccups, being that you get a quad assassin spawn, meaning they all spawn at once, and you get the Saturn spawn I talked about. Quad assassins is really not that difficult to deal with, you just shoot them in the head. Saturn, on the other hand, need a bit of finesse. Once you notice the last enemy in Saturn's area, keep them alive and kite them all the way back to the vendor. This is the area where we'll be hiding in. If you kill the last enemy, Saturn will not spawn, giving us some time to prepare. We will equip our Pimp, Key, Corrosive Relic, as well as the Money Shot class mod, move forward with it to spawn Saturn, and then run and hide. From here we'll take pot shots at Saturn, making sure our Money Shot hits some massive damage to take him out. This is not difficult, mind you, it's just boring.
Hyperion built Saturn to defend its interests abroad, to win hearts and minds by shooting them in the face.
After that has been dealt with, the rest is just more of the same. Then it's time for the last push.
Prepare for a great deal of text.
Since I used the Oasis quest at OP6, I have to reset my playthrough once more to be able to farm another OM. I reset, clear the town at OP0, grab the quest at OP8, on the gun, and then reset once more before grabbing the grog and a new shield. I reset at the end, so I have to farm open again at OP10. Obviously in this video I'm not grabbing another one, but if you are following along, you'll probably want one at OP10.
You have found one of Captain Blade's... Blade's log. Had to stage another fake execution today. One of the cooks was caught stealing from the treasure hole. I am Mr. Bodie Pants Guy.
All right, the road deflect. Does that work?
This pleases me.
So this is it, the last two levels, and they're a bit different than the previous one. Here, most areas will be randomized. While the previous peak runs all had set spawns that are consistent, these two levels will use spawns from each of those runs and mash them together. So, for example, you could get an Area 1 spawn that you already saw in OP2 to OP3, but an Area 5 spawn that you saw in OP5 to OP6. So your run will now probably look different compared to mine. No worries though, it's really just more of the same. The only difference being that now you'll get 2 Saturn spawns instead of 1. This can, however, be disabled by just moving forward a tiny bit here by the vendor until the first one spawns, taking it out and spawning the other one afterwards. It makes it a lot more manageable.
I felt the gauntlet needed a stupendous...
After defeating those two nerds, just make your way to Binary Boss and kill it, unlocking OP9. Now, OP9 to OP10, I have nothing really to add. I'll just be showing the highlights of that run without commentary. This will be it for this series. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Next series I'll be working on is going to be Gauge, so wish me luck with that. All in all, thanks for watching, and take care.
Scorch is a fire ant. I am attempting to learn puns. I did not have the memory to spawn a new creature, so you will find a few clones of the same enemy. Actually a queen, as spider ants have no formal system of government. I discovered this after infiltrating their ranks and attempting to run for prime minister. While not brain damaged, I happened to spawn several clones of this enemy. But you likely are brain damaged. The average spider ant lives for as long as it takes to meet a vault hunter. Why this Hyperion bot is named after a complete nonsense word. I did not have the memory to spawn a new creature, so you will find a few clones of the same enemy. to defend its interests abroad, to win hearts and minds by shooting them in the face. I find myself bored. Maybe you could find several of these. Prepare for a great deal of text.